Today we're going to be talking about the Flying Mansion Boeing 777. This is an interesting video. I'm sure you're going to enjoy. We're going to talk about, the advantages of having an airplane like this, and how many there are in the world, and the story about when I sold one a few years ago to a high net worth individual. So let's get into today's episode of BizJet TV. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, it's all about private aviation. My name is Fabrizio Polimi, Aviation Advisor. So subscribe to BizJet TV, and you can also join and become a Diamond member, where you get access to exclusive content on BizJet TV. And please give me a nice super thanks at the end of the video. So let's get into the meat of today's episode on the Boeing 777 VIP aircraft. Now, as you know, the Boeing 777, I reckon, is one of the most successful Boeings ever built. It's a fly-by-wire airplane, but it still has the traditional yoke, unlike the Airbus, which has the side stick. Emirates have operated them, British Airways operate them, lots of other airlines around the world. It's been a very successful airline. It's done very well. Boeing is still building them. They're building now the 777X. They've created the cargo version and, of course, the VVIP version. Now, there aren't many VVIP 777s out there. There was one up until a few months ago that was actually being chartered, and they configured it, and it looked really nice, but it wasn't doing much business. And it was just recently bought by one of the royal families in the UAE, who are now put it into their fleet of airplanes, and they're flying around all their people in this Boeing 777 VIP. And that's what most of the 777s that are in VIP configuration are owned by governments. There's only one that I know of that's operated privately, and that's the one I sold to an individual in the United States a few years ago. We sold it from an airline, and then it was turned into a private jet. So all the seats were taken out, and the owner spent over $200 million on the interior. So it's quite expensive to do. I mean, Boeing are selling these now with a 30-seat configuration. It's the 777X, as you can see. Very nice interior, but, we're talking $450 million for an aeroplane. Now, this has a lot of range. I mean, there's different variants, anywhere from 9 to 11,000 nautical mile range. You can pretty much go anywhere in the world with this airplane, because of course, having less passengers on board, not having the 350, 400 passengers that 777 carries, you've only got 30 people on board with the extra tanks. This thing has got a ton of range, so it's very, very convenient for that reason. As a private individual, unless you've really got a ton of money and a need for this airplane. I mean, this guy that bought the 777 from me, he owned a 737, a 767 VIP, and a bunch of Gulfstreams, and he just wanted to add the 777 to his collection. That's just one of those things. When you've got billions of dollars, and you like airplanes and you like traveling, that's what you do. So it's interesting, and there's certainly advantages in flying around the world in one of these airplanes compared to maybe a Gulfstream or a Global Express or Falcon 7X, because you are literally flying in it's a flying house, it's a flying mansion. So you get on the airplane, and you could have a gym on board, sofa bed, normal bedroom, shower, you name it. And a lot of these private jets, these airliners that get turned into, with VIP interiors, they are basically flying apartments or flying mansions, however you want to call them. Now, there is a bit of rumour out there. There's an Airbus 380, which is VIP, but no Airbus 380s have ever become a private jet. There were talks, because I had talks with an individual from the Middle East a few years ago about buying an A380, because I'd done the 777 deal. I was contacted to talk about doing an A380, but we talked. We had a few meetings, but nothing happened, basically. So the A380 has never been turned into a private jet. I know Airbus would have loved to have done that, but it hasn't been done. But in all fairness, I mean, there are only a bunch of people in the world that could buy an airplane like that. So is there a real sale value? And this is also the problem on a lot of these VIP airliners. That you buy the VIP airline, and then you customize it the way you want it. And if you look at the interiors, they're all very different. While if you look at the interiors of a Gulfstream G550 or a Global Express, they're pretty much the same. So when you're buying one of these VIP airliners, whether it's an Airbus 350 or a 737 or 777 and that, the interior is going to be very, very different, and the prices are going to fluctuate. You can pick one up for like $30 million. You can pick one up for $200 million. It depends on the interior, and it depends on what they've done to the interior and how over the top they've gone with the interior. So you're really paying for the interior more than the aeroplane. So, today you can pick up a pre-owned 777 for like $10 million, sometimes even less. And then you've got to spend money on doing the interior. And you can do the interior for 30 million, for 300 million, for 500 million. It depends how crazy you want to go. But that's really up to you if that's what you want to do. I just thought we'd do a video on the 777. As I said, from an engineering standpoint, it's a very, very good aeroplane, very reliable. Boeing are going to be building this airplane for a very long time. The cargo version is rolling out now. And there's also, they're looking at launching a number of them with like 70 to 80 seats first class, which will be launched across the Atlantic, and maybe some airlines may want to do that. But as I said, there was an airline that was trying to charter this airplane out. I think it was 70, 80 seats. And they struggled. They only picked up a few charters a year. They spent a ton of money on the interior, and then it was picked up by one of the royal families in the Middle East. And that's where this aeroplane really, really works. It's for governments. And for a government, when a government they travel with a lot of people. I mean, think of Air Force One. There's usually like 30, 40 people traveling, and maybe they're doing long distance. And if you're carrying that number of people, then the 777 VIP makes sense. And this is where governments do that a lot. For a corporation, I'm not sure if it's going to work. There are other airplanes which are a lot smaller that you could configure with 30 seats that would work. But the 777 is a long distance airplane, and for a government, I think it's a great choice. The Indian government recently retired their 747s and bought a couple of 777s and VIP'd the interior. And that's what they're flying around in right now. So I think the 777 is going to be the new Air Force One kind of type of airplane, because it's just reliable. It's got two engines. It does a better job than the 747. The 777 is replacing a lot of 747s in the cargo market, and I think it's going to do the same in the VIP market, where a lot of, for example, the royal families in the Middle East have 747s. They're going to be replacing the 747s with the 777, and same in Africa, and also other countries around the world as well. So this is kind of the future. It's a good aeroplane. So anyway, let's get the conversation going. You give me your take on the 777 VIP aircraft. What do you think? Is it a good airplane or not? Have you ever flown on one? And let's get the commentary going. And if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to BizJet TV. Join if you want access to the exclusive content we've got here on BizJet TV. We've got new stuff coming out in 2023 as well, which I'm sure you're going to enjoy. And give me a super thanks if you enjoyed this video, and check this other video out here about the recent new Gulfstreams that are coming out. And I'm sure you'll enjoy that. And that's all from Fabrizio Poli on BizJet TV, and I'll see you on the next one.